Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik and this is the game War in the Pacific Admirals Edition. In this case, this is a play-by-email match against KilRoy. Today we arrive at the 1st January 1942, so New Year Eve. And this is still scenario 1 and 1 day turn setup. Last turn, the last day of the year, we saw the first battle of Singapore with mixed results. This was so-so, I would say. No victory for me, but also no disaster at the crossing. And now my submarine's still trying to intercept here more cargo, tanker, or whatever movement is left. This is, I think, now the really last attempt from KilRoy to run cargo ships out of Palembang, out of Singapore, wherever he hiding ships. And here is one small cargo, aka go down. These are all British ships. This is a support cruiser formation, destroyer formation, led by a scout cruiser. I'm not sure. Hey, I had no morning coffee up to now, so feel a little cold. Need maybe drink first. But it's a normal coffee, not a Russian coffee, so don't worry. So this is this British, I think, motor torpedo boat. They are dangerous if they operate alone, but I think for escort duty they are not the best. And this all will die soon, so no need to watch this completely. So only one ship sunk immediately, the rest is doomed to die. But no cargo, at least no troop cargo. So now we have the sinking sound. Want to make sure that this AKL will go down. My submarine sent 2 torpedoes at 100% hit shot, so that is for sure dead. One of my submarines get a hit by KilRoy's destroyers, and my troops arrive in Luneville, and looks like no enemy unit in the base. Here I bring in, I think additional, I unload additional troops with my task force. And there's also an escort carrier to make sure that there's no sneaky strike from your KilRoy's Air Force. A little risky, of course. The coastal battery of Palembang is still active, but it's only 75mm gun. It will not really hurt something like a 10,000 ton ship. These are both my carriers trying to find shipping East Coast Australia or source of Java. But first some bombardment in China. I will maybe slow this down soon. I'm running out of good targets, and many of the Japanese pilots are still not really so well trained. Up to 70 you can, at least to 65 you can train in easily the skill level. And first after that it maybe really makes sense to use the active missions to even improve over this skill level and also let them learn experience. And I would say roughly maybe 10 or 20% of my pilots are not at that level. it's most are okay, but not all. So I could train for 1 week and get also a boost for my cruise. So long, of course, the enemy units in open terrains, I could go for attacks. And he also supports strikes on Palmbang. But nothing really special happened. The bad weather have always impact, but the map is big, so there will be always some location with a local cold front and a thunderstorm. This is now the port strike number 2 on Townsville, and this time I'm a range of 6. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my dive bomb was carrying also 250 kilogram bombs here. And if you watch the ammunition, you can see how is what bomb hit the target. You can see 800 kilogram bomb hit on a heavy cruiser. And this will have impact for cargo ship. But this will need time to watch all of this. Most important is I create here really damage on this fleet. KilRoy tried to hide in Townsville, and whatever is left over will be totally crippled and need a shipyard to repair. And I'm not so sure if there's any shipyard. The destroyer is, I think, breaking apart here. The Reuter also. The heavy guns are destroyed. So also if you have had this kind of heavy equipment destroyed, I'm not sure if a repair ship can do this. The Reuter also looks broken. Okay, let's mix this up a little. There is a cruiser going down, at least one, and it's the Reuter. But all of the rest, I mean, there's at least one destroyer sunk, one light cruiser sunk, a second destroyer sunk, a third destroyer sunk. The mine layer, no, the minesweeper also sunk, one more destroyer sunk. So, I mean, normally everything sunk here or is heavily damaged and will sink. And most important is that a bunch of destroyers, and the biggest ship here is the Houston, with heavy fires, heavy damage, very likely also will go down. And if not, yeah, maybe in 6 months we see a second. If the ship can ever reach the port of Brisbane, Singapore, or Sydney. So a successful conclusion, or last chapter of this battle of, you can still say this is all part of battle of Port Moresby. Maybe this was forces KilRoy used to make bombardment. He sunk 2 light cruisers and I think on 2 destroyers. So I also lost equipment, and I mean, for me this equipment is not coming back, and for the Allies it is way to 43, and then there's so much where you won't use it. Anyway, I landing some troops in the Hex where the Australian forces try to escape. This was near to Rabaul, and this is only additional landing in Palm Bank. Today is an attempt for my tanks. My tanks arrived already last turn, my infantry just this turn, so I only can attack with my tanks. My tanks are still not able to push out the Chinese, but the damage is mounting up for the Chinese. Yes, of course, my tanks are also getting disabled and slowly destroyed, but these are all the early light tanks and Tankletten, so old Panzer I style stuff. That is not easy to destroy. Most important is that I keep the pressure on the Chinese ground forces so that KilRoy cannot use the heavy terrain here to keep or build up a defense position to save Xi'an. This is this broken Chinese army in the source, and I kick it around. Now it jumps back to Nanchang, but not completely. You can see that at least one force is left in the Hex. Oops. The same here in the east. One broken Chinese corps, and it's more or less half empty, or even less. Second time battle, or not second, third battle maybe of Seiyang already with a heavy Japanese division, but even if I bring a whole division inside the Hex, I have double the raw power, but the terrain is too good, and I am losing even more equipment, I mean at least disabled than the Chinese. So here's KilRoy really digging in and block my logistic, let's say this. East of Xi'an at the same time, my infantry is also pushing forward, and this was the last good Hex for KilRoy to defend, but only light disabled losses for me, nearly nothing destroyed. In my armored car division, or not a division but armored car company, is already running directly behind the Chinese, are now in the same Hex, but the armored car division is really only a police force, so I will try maybe to kick the Chinese out of the Hex, because maybe they are simply morale broken, but I don't expect so much. And here I drive a division west of the cities to encircle all resistance. Terapo, no defender here in the city or in the base. So I took the second west side base here in New Guinea. I skipped all of these eastern bases first, because then nothing can escape normally, I would say. Bombardment at Palmbang. Nothing really happens. And that was the turn. So some successful strike on Townsville with my carrier division was, I think, the highlight of the turn, and the land operations are all continue successful with decent speed, I would say. Maybe there are two locations are hard to crack for me and cost me time, but they cost me time. I would say sooner or later I will also be successful in China completely. So not much air war, so light losses for both sides. Uh, these are both scout planes going down with the cruisers, and I lost one of my dive bombers, flag damage, and then operational written off. So list of I lost not even a pilot, you can see. So and this is now the end of the month, so we have, let's say, 3 weeks now in the war. I had 50 killed pilot, 13 wounded, and 24 missing pilots. So in total, uh, this is really, compared to the Allies. I don't know how many pilots KilRoy lost, because this is impossible to know, but you can see 150 to 500 is roughly the kill ratio. And out of 155 pilots, I lost, you can see 50, 60, 70, 80, maybe 80 pilots. Most of the wounded will come back. So 75 lost pilots for sure, and some wounded will not come back. So maybe 80 pilots lost. So 50% lost pilots compared to lost airframes. And I have at least two very good pilots with 8 kills each, plus one with 7, and a bunch of 6. And many more with 2 or 1 kill. Of course, they're all zero pilots. There's one Oscar pilot with had 1 kill. Okay. And there's even a Pete guy make a kill. Okay. Yeah, you can see. So far, successful air operation with low losses. This is the main strategy. Don't lose too much of your own stuff and try to kill as many as possible, but not focus on maximum damage. I could run my torpedo bombers much more aggressive and maybe sink much more, but no, I want to keep my pilot stock and handle them more carefully. So not over aggressive on this side at least. Ship sunk last turn. I don't know, in the battle report we saw many ships sunk immediately, but they don't show up here. So can be that they officially sunk already before and then the game don't update this, but I would say it's always strange. So if we go to Allied ships sunk all dates and sort by points, then there's not the Houston, and the Houston sunk today for sure. So there are ships missing here for sure. So far the game tell me Australia sunk. Okay, but no, this is 2 days ago. We have here only one heavy cruisers, a bunch of light cruisers go down, then AOs and support ships, good support ships or troop transport ships, some better cargo ships, and later on a bunch of submarines. They all sunk in Manila. You can see roughly the equipment what KilRoy lost so far I mean, I also cannot say this is all for sure, because this is always related to fog of war. It's too early in the game to really say what is for sure dead. I can only say that up to now there was no kill blow against anything what is really important. I sunk no battleship, at least nothing from the British battleships, and the American battleships are all, I mean, the old one in Pearl Harbor are not so important. I sunk and damaged no carrier, so I sunk some troop ships with loaded units. That is okay, but yeah, nothing really hurt KilRoy in the long run. And for me, I lost this AMC. This was the biggest ship so far. It's value. I mean, it is big, but not really on tonnage, but it's big on victory value points. Not sure why the game gives this ship so much victory points, but yeah. And then these two light cruisers. 10U is normally the better one because you can change it to a anti-aircraft cruisers, and the Japanese don't have many of this. And Yubari is a heavy destroyer, nothing more. And both lost to this overnight bombardment in Port Moresby, and surprised me. And I lost also in total already 3 fleet destroyers. This was this magazine explosion, so 1 hit, 1 explosion, super. The 1% hit. This ship sunk in a night, I think it was night engagement by enemy torpedo hit. This always happens somehow. The British torpedoes always hit, and my Japanese torpedoes most of the time miss. So this was both super unlucky hits. Oboro was also sunk in Port Moresby. This was this port bombardment by, you can see, 15-inch shell hit from Renault. And this is normally all the military equipment I lost what counts. These small submarines all lost in Pearl Harbor, it doesn't matter. And in total I lost also 3 DMSs. This was this night. These are all these torpedo hits, 2 ships sunk by enemy torpedo boats. Skillfully, KilRoy used them to mess up my landings in Iba. In this one, DMS just sunk a day or 2 days ago by 4-inch shell hit. This ship's simply missing all kind of protection, and they only have 3 hit points. So if they start getting fire, I think they're going down easily. Normally a 4-inch shell hit is not so much, but yeah, maybe it was also more good hit with critical damage, then this can happen. So in total, I would say I lost nothing what is critical for me. The fleet destroyers are the really stuff I will miss. The light cruisers are, light cruisers, not really powerful for Japan. And KilRoy also, he has still everything what he needs to win. Good. If we talk about all of this, the summary of this first month, then I can maybe also check shortly about the aircraft losses more in detail. So KilRoy lost nearly 500 airplanes. If you count up here the Buffaloes, 72 Buffaloes, I think these are British Buffaloes, these are Dutch Buffaloes, and the American Buffaloes. Not so many Buffaloes here from America. But the P40E, these are the Filipinos Warhawks originally, but KilRoy moves them early on to Java. This may be a good move. These are the Dutch bomber from Java. Also, many of them already dead, so not too much attack power left for him. And for me, the number 1 losses are zeros. Okay, they are the frontline fighters I use, so you can see compared to Oscars, I not even know if I ever really use Oscars in active duty. I cannot even feel. There is 1B, I lost 3 operational losses. I don't see any losses of Oscar 1C. And maybe never really use them so far. Oh, interesting. And yeah, of course, the Zero is better range, and the pilots are better trained often. So yeah, and no air battle in China. This is why my Oscar's not really taking part in any battle so far. Yeah, and also I get rid of some of these P40Bs. They are not coming back. This is this outdated production line. So in total, already roughly 75 Warhawks dead. Many Buffaloes are dead. So the main focus is Dutch bombers killed, Buffaloes killed, P40s killed. I mean, this is what the Allies have. So of course, there are no P39s. I mean, they are flying Tigers, but I encounter not the flying tiger so far because I don't attack in Burma, and KilRoy don't move them to China, so he keeps them maybe for the defense of Rangoon. And the rest is smaller stuff, not so important. Yeah, you can check if you want. Everything is very small in numbers now. And yeah, these numbers are so far I know are fog of war numbers, and these numbers are true numbers, so they will not match up completely. But if I know that I lost 154 and KilRoy lost 485, and even somehow this is a good ratio. Let's say this one yeah, roughly 1 to 3 kill ratio is good. It will not keep for long, that for sure, but it is a good start. And I also lost no air wing so far. There was simply no disaster. Uh, and army lost points, you can see maybe 100 to 3,000 is also good. Everything is working in the right way. Of course, most of these points are from Philippines, Malaya, and China. So overall situation in China is still, you can see that I'm moving steadily on Xi'an and try to, encircle all of these Chinese forces so that I can destroy them. Then I have 1 month, I don't know how, I think roughly 1 month or 2 months before they plopping up again and in Chongqing with 25% or 30% or 35% of the attack value. So I think this is maybe also KilRoy's tactic, that he simply say he don't even want both of his units. They are all not at much attack value at the start. If they don't move, they dig faster in. And if I destroy them here, they're coming back anyway. So maybe, and I only know KilRoy plays this game many times. And there can be different reasons. Maybe he won't let me have a more easy time in China, or he won't save time, or he think it's worthless to move them much. Sometimes he moves them, but not always. So anyway, it is a play by email match, and we will see. This is only one part of the battle. The struggle point for me in China is so far in Xinjiang. Even the Chinese division cannot help to kick out all of this. Wait, I mean the Japanese division was not able to completely help me to win the victory here. And I would never really use all of these Chinese troops. So if you play Japan and you have any kind of this Japanese forces, I call them police force, and they are really not much more. They are Chinese units most of time. They all have low morale and very low experience, and I believe that low morale will always be also a check if the unit really take care of or enter a battle. So you can have thousands of this kind of guys on the map and fight, or give them the order to attack. With this low morale, maybe only 37% of them really take care or enter the battle, and most others, they have a morale check failure, and then they will not help you. And even if they help you, they are Chinese units, so they will fight with this, I think, with the same efficiency or combat values than the Chinese unit have, and they are weaker compared to I think they're the weakest, maybe the same level like Dutch and Thai, something like this. So, but you have this raw attack value still, and I mean attack value you always need to make garrison duty and yeah, fulfill this because you have so many cities everywhere. I mean, if you only see Shanghai, you have here 720 garrison duty. In Beijing have nearly 400, and many other cities also need a lot of attack value. And for this, of course, I will always, if possible, use Chinese forces. So you have also nearly every city needs something like this. Here's a little too less, so I need to bring here more in. But you can see here, and also it is not really a must to have this at 100%. You can do it. At least you need, I think, 90%. With 90%, you're most of time fine. Very unlikely that you get have this message that too less garrison. At least if you have 90%. So 18 out of 20, I think, is more or less always safe. Very, very low chance. And it's only a question if you have enough attack value left over. Of course, you can do this. But here it's the early days. I try to get maximum attack value as a front line. Once I maybe secure the lines, I can maybe pull out more Japanese second class units and make sure that every city have for sure enough attack value for garrison. It's always this, you want normally rush here in China to get it fast done, or at least have better forward positions, but at the same time you must keep your garrison, and yeah, so every player have to balance this out. So here in the source I have a problem because this is also not the best terrain. It's only 2 times terrain, but still here strong Chinese forces holding this crossroad, and it's yeah, it will let me flow supplies more easily between South China and East China. So I need to take this hex, and I also need to take this hex, and of course I must take also the city first to really open up here all flow. So everywhere are still Chinese units messing up with all my supply flow and make it a little more hard to maybe keep strong forces in Changsha. This is also why I not push here too fast. So long I don't really control the rail or the highways, it's still possible to transport supplies, but deep down in the numbers you will have, I think, more issues. Burma, we have still no activity, not that I really push here too much. Malaya is already secured. Singapore, the first attack was so-so. I will bring in additional forces, they're coming here. Maybe in 1 or 2 days I try attack again. And with a little luck I can take the city. Additional reinforcements arrive also in Palembang, so I'm only a little out of supplies, but I have maybe attack value enough to make maybe one more push. And the Dutch forces are not really so strong. They're also not deep dug in, so same like Singapore, 1 or 2 more turns and then I will try. We can here see all of these British ships running away. I have here still submarines lurking in the water. I have my carrier here in position. So I'm waiting. Let them come. So, but I don't know if really KilRoy try to escape out or if he only try to escape to Batavia and then hide here again. Good. Nothing else here to see. Mindanao, the operations are nearly over. I'm crossing now here the river. Next turn, this is only a Navy Guard unit arrived already in this hex. But I will not, I mean, I wait here. Maybe like this. Because this guy's 30. Maybe I wait 1 more turn, or I can also move directly. I think if I move directly, I make automatically a shock attack. This is also fine. This is not more much to worry, so I can wipe them out immediately. Yeah, and here is also, you can see, this is this base force running out of water processor, so I will take this base and I take care of these guys. In Philippines only Bataan is left. I'm moving still my aircraft or Air Force equipment to Manila. At the same time, my units in Clarkville can rest and come back to perfect, at least no, not tired, readiness is high, and all of the stuff. My units are more or less, I think we are ready to go again. Yeah, no disruption, no fatigue. So I will move on Bataan now and be in 3 days maybe in Bataan. And yeah, I don't know how many battles I will need in Bataan. With Jochen, it was only one strike, one victory, but we had many battles in Clarkfield before, so maybe these troops are still more fresh and can hold 2, 3 turns out or battles. Yeah, and last big operation theta is here around Babul, so I took both bases here at the west side. The Australian forces was trying to escape here, so I just was arriving in time to deny this escape route. So now they are here blocked in the mountains and here in the mountains, and hard for KilRoy to supply them, I would say. There's no air base, so, and he can also not use Catalinas because there's no coastline, so I don't know how he's doing. He's also walking here to the west, and I landed here troops in this hex to get rid of them. Because if you walk here from hex to hex, this needs endless time, but if you make amphibious assault, it's much more quickly. Yeah, you can have maybe losses if you make this amphibious assault, but it's a question of time and equipment. And if you use Navy Guard units, that kind of equipment is cheap to build and replace. So my carriers make the second strike on Townsville. I think now it's enough. I don't want to stay here and then something. The British battleships are still somewhere and they are unharmed. So if I stay here, it can end badly. I don't have the wish to encounter enemy battleships with my carrier, so I will be always active and move around and make it impossible or very unlikely to be intercepted. And the damage is done. So all of the ships, I think, are here are 5 ships in port, shown all destroyers, but all of the ships are burning, wrecked, or maybe they're sinking over time, or if not, then they are useless for many, many weeks. Good. Yeah, I arrive at Luganville, and here is no one, so I can take the base for free. Looks like. Yeah, and maybe in the situation in Pearl Harbor is still, my submarines are here in position. KilRoy moved out with his sub-hunter groups, and he took out, I think, one submarine already, and the second is damaged on return. Yeah, this one is heavily damaged, and others are damaged. So this is okay. The second one will maybe go down. A flotation of 80 and the system damage piling up, and still too far away from every Japanese base. So that is simply impossible to save, I think. But we will see. Thank you all. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.